The Boss and the Sauce Show.
Boss and the Sauce Show.
Boss and the Sauce Show.
Boss and the Sauce Show. Here we go.
Week 3 college football. People, where you at? What up, Big Ragu?
What's happening? Saturday football, baby. You know what that means. Me and you on screen giving out winners and cashing tickets.
And you know it, because if you was in here last week, you definitely caught the winners, and we definitely cashed some nice tickets last week. We don't get them all right, but we do get them right.
We lose too. Who the hell we get? But we have fun. Right? It's all about fun, sharing information, cutting it up, getting the job done.
So, quick words on last week. I believe I ended up going 3-3 last week, but it still was profitable. I caught some live bets, put everything over for me, so I had a profitable week. And then I just donated it all to the NFL on Sunday. So it was a great weekend, and we started right over where we left off on Monday.
Yeah. I catch a little more traction this week on the college slate for myself. Had a good NFL Sunday, 6-2, which is very profitable. But today is what we're all about on college football. And there's some interesting games. I think the card's a little bit it's not as strong as last week's, but, we'll find some spots to get people on and, we'll share some opinions and see what we come up with.
For sure. Let me give a quick shout out to the early birds in the chat. We got Lil Setting in here, my man Justin Melvin in here, and also Kong's Clips is up in here with us as well, and our own Jimmy Gomez is up in this place, and boom, the gas report hops in here right now too. We are locked in, loaded, and people are showing up, so we might as well go ahead and give them the goods, Big Ragu. Ain't no reason to hold it back. You know what everybody's here for.
Let's talk about what you did yesterday a little bit on giving out the Air Force play.
Oh yeah, if you tuned in to Who-Bangin, so make sure you subscribe, because we on all week with different stuff. So I've been tapped in since Tuesday's show. I tapped in with that play, and then on Thursday's show I also put a big time over in the Air Force game. It was a 2-unit play of mine. I don't really do 2 units a lot, but it was a 2-unit play of mine. It jumped off the page. It had every telltale sign of a winner, and everybody joined me with that one, and we cashed yesterday. So we are back up for the weekend, and we're gonna stay up and keep going up and up and up and up. And if we donate it all to the NFL tomorrow, for the love of NFL,
that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. But one thing I want to mention about the academy football is, we talk about that a lot, and I like some academy football, but I was kind of, not that I was beating up the academies at all, to say, they kind of slow things down. I said the academy football is a little down this year, but guess what? Army stepped up yesterday, Air Force in a big way yesterday. So Navy's got to do some catching up with the other 2 academies in my book right now on the offensive side, which, I figured both those. I like the Air Force play yesterday. I really did. And Army really surprised me yesterday against San Antonio. So good job for them.
Yeah, I think they had UTSA just a little overrated from the beginning of the season, and Army did a good job yesterday. But Air Force was able to throw the ball. That was spectacular for them.
Yeah,
a lot of promising stuff. Yeah, and I wouldn't even count Utah State out after the Air Force game. It's just a difficult game for them, but they can come to play at times. So let's jump on into the first game of the day. Let's see what we got lined up for you. Louisville and Indiana. Louisville -10. 50 is the total. Lucas Oil Stadium. We indoor. No rain, no sunshine, none of that good stuff. What you got on this one, Big Ragu?
Yeah, this is an interesting look as far as offense versus defense. Louisville right now has got the number, and it's early in the season, of course, but Louisville's got the number 4 offense in the nation right now. And Braum has come in there, and he's kind of doing Braum things. He's got this offense off and flying. Just they beat Murray State 56-0. No big deal. Had a high scoring affair against Georgia Tech. On the other side of the ball, Indiana, all things Michael Penix, when they left, this team was trying to find themselves, trying to put some things together. But they've been solid on defense like most Big Ten teams have been, during the course of the season early on. And they gave Ohio State a little bit of not a scare, but they kind of, held their own with Ohio State. So, and offensively, they have some challenges, but we're looking at a game now that the numbers kind of moved down. A real interesting look here is the total. So the total's kind of come down from 58 all the way down to 50.5. So I think that kind of tells the story there with Indiana, what they expect them to kind of slow Louisville down. And the team total at Louisville set at 30, I think right around 30.5, 31s. I see some 30.5s. I think this game kind of is. I think the total's a sharp number right now, but Louisville team total 31. I think Indiana can hold. I mean, both of those both of the wins that Louisville had, they were well up above the 30 mark. 37s and whatnot. But I think Indiana can hold this team under 31 points here. So I would look to bet an under on Louisville's team total 31.
Under on Louisville team total. And you said he is at 31?
Yeah. I see some 30.5s out there, but I've already played it. So you might be able to find a 31, but that's a key number too, because now we're talking, 4 touchdowns and a field goal. So
yeah, that's a good number. But
the line is bet on the game. So
I don't have much.
Stay away from the line. The side, picking the side.
I don't have much on that one right there because I'm just letting the Louisville change chapters of the head coaches, and we'll see how that settles out. And I did have my eye on Indiana playing some of those early games. So, yeah, a nice look right there, Big Ragu. Jump into the next game right here. This is a Big Boss special. We're going to continue to roll this Notre Dame thing. Most cappers really don't like betting on their favorite team or whatever, but sometimes, I kind of play it a little different. It was really dear to me, this team right here. This was an easy call for me. Central Michigan, pretty close to Notre Dame's area. They probably recruit some of the same stuff, or, they probably an hour or two away from each other. But in the interstate rivals and close games like that, I usually take the points and the dog. And that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to take Central Michigan with the points. 34.5 is pretty high for this Notre Dame team. And I've been noticing a lot of bias from the public. They kind of putting teams in places where they shouldn't be. Notre Dame offense is great. Sam Hartman hasn't had – I thought he was going to have a breakout day last week. He still ain't really had a breakout day yet. Central Michigan is sized to play in the trenches with Notre Dame, even though Notre Dame has a really good offensive defensive line. Central Michigan is still sized up there, so it's going to be a small battle in the middle right there. I just want the game to be slowed down and be competitive, and I'm looking for a backdoor cover. Give me Central Michigan plus the 34.5.
So you think Sam Hartman hasn't had the breakout game yet, huh, with Notre Dame?
No, not like he should. Yeah, not like he should. Because last week it should have been him. The whole narrative was there. They did a story and showed his story, because he has a true story. He's a fifth-year senior, so he has a story and all that kind of stuff. And that was a part of the beginning of the game. Like, they was trying to get you in the mood for him to do something, but during the game, the opportunity just wasn't there. The offense had to go where it was good to win, and that's what they did. I like that from the new offensive coordinator. We might have a narrative or whatever we're trying to play, but we're trying to win games more than
trying to sell him
else.
on the Heisman, man. Trying to pump him up.
Yeah, they try to pump him up for the Heisman, but he has, like I said,
he's that guy though. He really is. In my book, he's that guy. Sam Hartman's that guy.
He gotta have that game or two though. But we do have Ohio State coming in the midst, and that's another reason why Central Michigan's a play. This could be a look ahead, especially in the second half. We're gonna rest players. all that good stuff. So
Good point.
backdoor cover is wide open with this one. As much as I love Notre Dame, and Freeman usually gets me real good with the total with the over when he's on the road. So at home, we got a little more chance of him calming down in the fourth quarter and not trying to really blow these teams out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Central Michigan has a dark shot to keep up. They got McElwain, it's a 40 years in the biz. McElwain started, out in the MAC and has got some Mountain West time, and he's got some time in the SEC. He's worked with Saban. He's a savvy coach. I think he's really in a comfort spot up there, back in the up in Central Michigan. He's been there forever. You're not hearing them about being on a hot seat and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, 34.5 is a big number. And what about this team total for Central Michigan? 7.5. You think they can muster up a touchdown and a field goal throughout the game, maybe late in the game where they start resting some of their starters and stuff and bring the youngsters in?
Definitely in the back door, but first half they probably try to shut them out. Like I said, Notre Dame is a stingy defense. They take it personal when teams score on them like that. So they could try to donut them pretty tough. But, Notre Dame's defense is not flawless. They got some flaws in there in the secondary. At times they don't get to the spot and the outside corner is open. But it's been pure coaching, keeping them in there, bend don't break. So I don't know. They might try to pitch a shutout in this one. 7 is really, really low. I'm looking for the backdoor cover, so I'm going to need Central Michigan to get on the board.
Yeah, you're going to need them to score. That's what I say. So my play is going to come along with your play a little bit. I think the backdoor comes in effect. I think maybe they got a field goal going in late in the fourth quarter, and guess what? They get that late punch in, and Central Michigan gets better than 7.5. Team total over 7.5. Central Michigan for me.
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. But taking those bets are the same difference. Just
same,
where you're more comfortable.
Right there, same cap.
But let's keep it rolling. Shout out to my man Razor in the chat. Shout out to Nasty Nate just came up in here. Shout out to our guy Tease. North Enders up in there. Ricky Bobby's up in here. JW. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us as we do this once again.
I'm going to give a shout out to a guy that's probably not in the chat. My guy, Tony Turner, who I work with. He was asking about the show, so I tweeted at him the link out. I'll show him how to make the comments next week. But shout out to you, Tony, if you watch.
Shout out, Tony. Come and check us out next week. Hop in the chat. It's a great fam right here. Let's jump into the next game. South Carolina and Georgia. Georgia, big 27.5 point favorite. The over-under is at 54. They're in Sanford Stadium, Athens, Georgia. Is 78 degrees. What do you think about this one, Big Ragu?
Oh, this is a primetime game here in my book. We talked about Rattler. He's the old cat in the group. I keep pushing this guy. He turned the corner late last year. He's got a story to tell. This is his day. This is his national recruiting day. This is his combine. This is his look that he's wanted. This is going to be a motivational game for him, to kind of, set the stage. I mean, we all know the past with him in Oklahoma, coming over to Columbia, South Carolina to play football. So, I mean, this is a big game for him. And then on the other side of the ball, you got Carson Beck, who's played his high school ball up in Jacksonville. So there's a lot of unknowns with him. He's a highly recruited quarterback up that way. But we all know, what Georgia does. Their defense, I think, they have touted like the top defense, but I think they're a step down this year. I think South Carolina is always up to the task when they play. They always play competitive games with the Bulldogs. But I don't know. And the one thing that Beamer does well with his team in preparation is special teams. So maybe a special teams play here that kind of gets him a backdoor cover. I know the number is sitting at 27.5. But I think if that number ticks up before game time, 28 or better, I'm going to push the button on South Carolina and take the points. Even though Georgia, they're supposed to blow them out and do this and do that, but it doesn't happen when they play the Gamecocks a lot. Gamecocks they came close to beating them last year, I believe. So look to take South Carolina plus the points here. I know everybody's kind of waiting for Georgia to have that big game with the new quarterback, but I think the more experienced quarterback on the other side with the special teams versus a quarterback they're trying to groom in his role and get him up to speed in that Georgia offense. I think South Carolina, it might be too many points, especially if I get 4 touchdowns. I'm gonna take the Gamecocks.
Yeah, it would be Gamecocks or nothing for me.
But
This
it's
could
not
be
official right
Rattlers. This could be Rattler's little intro to why he should make it to the NFL at some
Yeah,
point.
exactly.
So all eyes on him. So probably a spot he want to take advantage
It's
of.
make or break time for as far as I'm not going to say it's going to affect him longer term. If he has it definitely put a dent in his stock today. If he shows out and they lose, let's say if they lose by a couple touchdowns, whatever, and has a good 250-yard game, or and he scrambles, scores a touchdown. If he showcases that today, it's going to be benefit for him down the road. And I think they covered the game too with that. So I'm putting all my eggs in a basket on Rattler today.
Yeah, it took Rattler a long time last season to break out. So hopefully he knows what's ahead of him and he comes to play today. Better pack a lunch, Rattler. Next game up. San Diego State versus Oregon State. This one is treading in muddy waters right here. Oregon State, they're excellent at home, man. That's where they get money at home. Coach Jonathan Smith, 6th year, against Brady Hoke in the San Diego State team, who didn't look the best last week. The offensive side of San Diego State, I've already said Maiden is not the best quarterback for them. He's starting to show his colors here and there. Defense last week played like a level down from what they normally play at San Diego State. But San Diego State and Wyoming, they bring a different culture of defense to the field. You gotta be primed up to play this defense that they play. It's part scheme, it's part personnel. These guys look undersized and all that, and they make big plays. And one of the greatest things that I've seen about Brady Hoke through these years that he's been here at San Diego State, he's a progressive coach. He learns from the last week and goes ahead. I don't expect San Diego State to put out the same product they put on the field last week. I expect them to tighten down a little bit more. The offense at San Diego State, I never can explain. When they do score, they just find ways to get the ball in the end zone. So today, they find their way to get their ball in the end zone. It's a tough Oregon State D, but they match up better because Florida State, they going to do a good running game. Oregon State has a balanced defense, so San Diego State may be able to get the run going against Oregon just a couple times to get in the end zone. And I'm taking San Diego State plus 24.5. That's a lot of points to give a defensive-minded team with Brady Hoke back there, Rocky Long's original defense. Even though they playing kind of down this year, they get it together today and they cover that number. This is going to be like a half unit play though. It's just kind of picking at the board. Something that I see is like it's a little out of place, but we're going to run it today, and hopefully San Diego State stays true to who they are, and they definitely don't let Oregon State get away. And Ulia Langalea over at Oregon State, he has been doing a good job keeping the offense balanced, but these guys in the secondary a little more skilled than he's played in a while. He's going to be getting welcome back to the West Coast with this one, so we'll see how he works out with that. If he does great, hey, we're just going to keep back in Oregon State when they're at home. But, if he stinks up the field a little, it was because we capped well. You got anything on this one, Big Ragu?
Yeah, I kind of got a defensive look, for both squads here. I don't think DJ has faced anybody. I mean, he has in his career, obviously, playing on the East Coast in the ACC and some of the tougher games he's played over there. But San Diego State, they're a defensive team, like you said. Offensive struggles a bit. Maiden, the passing game, he's going to have to make something happen. And Oregon State has a good defense too. So, but like I say, they played UC Davis and San Diego. Who was it? Who's the first? Anyways, San Diego State or Oregon State's first game. They played a lot lesser opponent on the defensive side, and I don't think he's faced any kind of pressure yet. So I think San Diego State is going to bring the pressure today against him. And I know it has a pretty good underlook here, 48.5 points. We're talking, or 49 now. I think it might get a sneaky over here possibly, but the points look good here. but I lean to the over.
There you go, right here. You heard it first, right here on the Boston the Sauce Show. Big shout out to our chat, man. They're going up. We appreciate all the comments, man. And thanks for stopping by, Rod.
San Jose State, that's who they played, right? San Jose State and UC Davis, I believe so.
Oregon State. Yeah, they play San Jose State. Next up, Tulane and Southern Miss. Tulane is a big 13-point favorite in this one. The over and under is 49.5. We are at M.M. Roberts Stadium in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. What do you think about this one, Big Rago?
These are two 1-1 teams. You know, Tulane started out early, I think ranked in the top 25, if I'm not mistaken, like 24. Southern Miss, both of these teams are coming off losses. Ole Miss last week for Tulane, 20-37 they lost, and then Southern Miss lost to FSU 13-66. So they got smacked around in that game, and not a good look for them in that. But it's early on in the season. They both played more up in their schedule a little bit early on, which a lot of teams do the opposite. But these are two teams that, for a team that was a top 25 team, like I said, that was a tough game. And then of course FSU was a tough game for the others. So both of these teams are going to look to get back on a winning track today. The thing about Tulane, they've kind of changed things up over there with Willie Fritz, not coaching the team anymore. And then Southern Miss, they're trying to get their schedule back on track or get their program back on track. So they play a lot of tough road games, and that's how they make their money too. So, but I think this is going to be a competitive game, even though the number shows a little bit differently. Tulane's got a little bit record, ATS numbers, 5-1 the last 7, or 5-6, 7. Tulane 7-0 the last 7 ATS on the road, and Southern Miss is 1-6 against opponents in the AAC. So I think the look here presents itself well for Tulane. I think the money's coming back the other way a little bit. I think 80% of the bets are on Tulane, but the sharper money plays are on Southern Miss, like 80. So it's like an 80-80. 80% of the bets are on Tulane, but 80% of the money is on the other side. So it kind of put me off a little bit here, but I still lean Tulane. I'll go contrarian here. I think they're the better football team. They started out the season better, higher ranked, and they got better numbers on the road and in conference. So I know it's double digits, but still, I think they can get the job done here, maybe with a turnover or two possibly. So I lean Tulane here against the number.
There we go, Tulane. Now, before we move any further, I'm going to bring in a special guest as we continue our promise right here at Who-Bangin to be for the people and by the people. We're bringing up some of our very own from our chat, from our followers who want to come in and join us. Y'all say hello for my man, Ramon Scott. How you doing out there, Ramon?
Hi, guys. What an honor to be with you guys.
Going in on me, man.
Yeah, talking football. Now, I just want to be on with Big Boss and Ragu, quite frankly.
It's a pleasure.
Well, before we move any further, I'm going to put you in solo screen, and you let the people know where they can find you, what you got going on, and all that stuff. We'll get all that out the way before we go into some more of these games.
Oh, well, that's great, Big Boss. Thank you so much. I don't want to get too detailed into it. I kind of maybe known now as a paid tout. So I'm over at Tony'sPicks.com where my premium picks are, but I'm on YouTube at the Tony's Picks YouTube channel, mostly giving out a ton of free picks. And that's what we like with our communities. Yeah, maybe I'm going about it a little bit different way. Not everybody's in favor of it. I'd love to go back in time and scream out on the air like they used to do back in the day, but just check me out on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. I think a lot of people might be familiar with that channel. I feel lucky to have landed over there, after hanging out and following you guys and all of I'm older of a lot of these guys, but mentors, if you will, doing a great job on all these channels. I'm in all the chat rooms, trying to be Mr. Know-It-All, but actually now with my own little platform, I have a show every day on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel, guys, at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. I spend about 90 minutes covering the main board, the big betting board, major games, pro and college football certainly, but Major League Baseball as well, NBA, college basketball, hockey, even some of the minor sports, WNBA, CFL. And I have a partner, Mindy Hahn, who's just terrific. Really one of the few male-female tandems doing this sort of thing, the talking heads in the YouTube boxes. It's been such a blessing to have someone so knowledgeable. And we've been doing it over a year now. And, guys, you know what it's like to build up those numbers. Yeah, I've landed on a pretty good channel, but, I didn't know what I was getting into at first. Big Boss and Ragu and you guys do. And I've been on these shows for a few years, even before the pandemic. But it's the chat that makes you keep coming back. When I'm waking up at 2 or 3 in the morning, sometimes for these shows, maybe 4 or 5 on some of the others. But nonetheless, it's the chat that makes you keep coming back, right, guys? All these names that we're familiar with, look at them all. And that's why you get up and turn it on and click the live button.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I know maybe Big Boss calling us up. I'll buy some time with some of the chat and shout them out while you're produced. I can hear you back there, Big Boss. All right. I'll shout them out. Razor and Gerardo here. If anything, I love all these names, but if I could shout out Gerardo, I mean, talk about legends in the chat, and now we see him a little bit on camera of late, but man, some of these names, they've been all over, and I've been in the chat with them.
Absolutely, man. It definitely starts in the chat, and that goes back to what I was saying earlier about us being for the people and by the people, especially the by the people part. So let's keep it rolling, man. Let me
Hey, Ramon, on a quick note, I told DJ about, you and I talking a little bit, but he snuck this one in on me. I didn't even know you were coming on today.
Oh, great.
Good to see you, my man. Always a pleasure.
As soon as I got a text back, because I had sent out something to you, Ragu, and said, I love whatever's going on, and I thanked you guys for putting shout out my guy Damon, who I dealt to for many years, and I really wanted him to get into the content space, because you can see right now, even with just a few shows, the potential there with him. And I always say Lazinski because it's easier, but the chemistry and the new I call them the new guys. I'm kind of new too, to a certain extent, but they're doing a great job, and I wanted to thank you guys for that. And I think they got something in there.
And speaking of new guys, we got to bring back one of our guys. He's been with us for a few weeks now, too, and he's been doing great on our show. The people want him back. He wants back in. So y'all give it up for my Wine Time coming in with us today.
Yes, sir.
How you feeling today, Wine
What's up,
Time?
fellas? How we doing?
Hey, good morning.
Doing good.
Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Nice to meet you, Ramon.
Hey, when I saw Wine Time last week, and Big Boss said, "Hey, can you come on?" I said, "Hey," I went back. I said, "Oh yeah, I like what he did, and hopefully I can live up to that too." Great job.
Yes, sir. Yeah, just trying to come up with some winners every week, man. I mean, it's not easy, but that's what we're trying to do, man.
Absolutely. So let's jump into this one right here. I'm actually on this one as well. This is NIU and Nebraska right here. Now, NIU is one of those good MAC teams that play some good, solid defense. They can be surprising running the ball, and they pack a punch for some of this out of conference play sometime. Today they come and see a Nebraska team who played in the limelight versus Colorado just recently. They got a new coach, Matt Rule. Looks like the defense over there is taking in very good. The offense, it clicks here and there. But today they're coming home for a home opener in Game 3 right here. And it's tough to play in Nebraska. I'm pretty sure everybody in Nebraska is tuned into this game. I have good faith for Nebraska, but not 11.5 point faith in them. So I'm going to jump on Nebraska first half, and I got them at -6 first half, Nebraska. Anybody else on this game? Y'all can just jump in where y'all want on the panel.
Go ahead, guys.
Go ahead, One Time. I got some opinions on it, but let me hear what you have to say.
Yes, sir. I'm off this game as of right now. I don't have a play in this game. I'm seeing right now the public is taking NIU in this one. I expect, honestly, Nebraska to somewhat bounce back. I don't think they're as bad as the 0-2 record they are, as much as they lost to Colorado last week, honestly. I am off this game. I don't have a lot of opinion on this, honestly. This is a bad Nebraska offense. I don't want to back it.
I'm good always for an opinion on Nebraska. I'll talk Nebraska football anytime, any place. I never liked this. Bragu, from Florida, I never liked this program as a kid, but I came to appreciate them once I got to know a lot of their fan base. So I kind of live and breathe a little bit with this, and it's been painful. It's been a painful, 20 years, quite frankly. So every time they're in these situations, bringing in a new coach, maybe this is the solution. But remember this, Rule, he struck out in his first season at the last two stops too, and then got it back together. And he's already built, a little bit of the black shirts tradition, bringing that back a little bit. But still, if you looked at the up and down the betting board, you can't find a better road dog than NIU. Nebraska ain't going to cover any number here. Come on, they'll win. They'll find a way. So somehow they stayed in that game with Minnesota, even though it was a choke job. They were in it the first, 14 minutes, whatever it was. I actually give them credit for the game against the Buffs for the way they performed in the very beginning of the game, and then it was an overwhelming situation. So still liking Nebraska as far as getting this done, win the game. NIU about as good as it gets as a road underdog of late, man. They're like 75% over the last several years as a road dog. So I would think no reason why that won't happen here today. Nebraska gets the win. Black shirts are back. Why they would ever mess around with that tradition, I don't know. But Rule's the guy to get this under control. It's just going to take a while. So NIU comes in here. Possible spoil it, but I'll take the points with the Huskies over the Huskers.
Uh-oh. Well, let me jump into the next one.
I got a little bit of a look here, and I totally agree with Ramon. But basically, Rule, he's a program builder. He's not going to put it together overnight, but even though, like I say, you're looking for spots to possibly back them, Northern Illinois is one of those teams, like when they take it on the road, they're really tough. They've always been that way. But if there's ever a spot to kind of get a little momentum going, I would think it would be today for the Nebraska size. But like Ramon says, it's going to be a slow burn for Nebraska here. But maybe a first half look, maybe for Nebraska to kind of to get everything going. Get the crowd involved early. Maybe that takes some of the sting off of the past couple games. But I would back them. I wouldn't hate that looker. I don't know what the number is, but maybe a first half Nebraska look could maybe lean for me here, just to kind of get the crowd gets the Huskers back into the game early, and then who knows what happens late. And I don't know about the total 43. That's kind of low, but Northern Illinois and then Nebraska's offensive struggles. Maybe that's a low number. I wouldn't call it low-hanging fruit, but, I think there's not going to be a lot of points here. I could see like a 20s and a teens type of game here.
4 or 5 point move already the under. It's going to be,
be a
low. It's going to be a low.
Yeah.
Oh, low.
Agreed. I lean Nebraska first half.
And I got that at 6.5, Big Ragu. Yeah. I took it early in the week. I don't know what it is now. But let's keep the show rolling. This is a big primetime game today. I don't know when they started doing prime time at 7 o'clock at night, which is going to be 10 o'clock on the East Coast. But for the sake of Dion, prime time, and all of the social money and media money they've been able to make off of this team, this is a game to look at today. They sparked this one up like a boxing match. The coaches have already met up, and Coach Joe Norvell threw a shot at Dion, and Dion rebutted, and we're going to see how it takes place on the field, even though the coaches don't play not one down on the field. But we're going to see how it takes place on the field. Me, myself, I've been cashing Colorado. No reason for me to change that here today. I'm taking Colorado again. I can't stand – this is a little biased. So if you guys are capping the capper, I'm going to let you know right up front. I'm biased. I cannot stand Jay Norvell. That was such a smart little just him remark he made, but his team is not nothing. The talent that he did try to bring over from Nevada, they left him right where he was after the first year over there. So he's struggling with talent. his system has not been proven except for on offense. He is a great offensive genius. He will get some points up on the board some way, somehow. But once again, I said it last week with Colorado. I'll say it again this week. The athleticism on the Colorado side way supersedes the talent that they have at Colorado State. I don't know if it's going to be early or late, but Colorado will go through. And if Prime's a little mad, he's coming out of Jackson State and blowing people out and not having respect to the other coaches and stuff like that. That's what they do over there. So he might run it up for me. I hope he has it in him to run it up as I take Colorado minus 23. Go for it, Ragu. You on this one?
Yeah. Well, I got a little bit of a look, but not much. But I'm going to quote Deion Sanders. He says he doesn't have time to enjoy the moment. He said at a press conference, Santa don't have time. He got to deliver gifts. So he's in other words, he ain't taking his foot off the gas is what he's doing. And I agree with you. This is one of those spots, and this is a state rivalry. And then, Norvell putting his foot in his mouth. Why you got to give these guys extra motivation? This was a team that was picked to win 2.5 games early in the season. Now everybody's on the bandwagon, which I get that. And I'm well familiar with Prime over the years of being down here in Florida. And, he's just a master motivator. He's the exact opposite of what Rule was doing at Nebraska. They're built to win now, and they're showing their wares on the field. So it can get ugly for this team possibly. I'm not going to lay like 24, 23 points, which, he probably cover that number. But I'm just going to sit back and enjoy this and just take it all in because it's going to be a ride for the Buffs. And when it stops, I don't know, but I don't think it stops today either. So, I lean that way, but I'm not going to bet the 23.
Well,
you got one on this one, Ramon?
Oh, yeah, sure. I could talk about it. This seemed too easy. Come on here and talk about Colorado football. Come on. Don't even need a script for this one, but I won't go into all those storylines, right? It's already been played out. I would say this. The line's 23. By the time we get to set, what's it going to be by the time we get to game? Could there be a run at the bank here a little bit on Colorado still? I don't think anybody's ready to look. There's yeses and nos. I've been on it the whole time. I want to go one more time to the well with the Buffs. If I could take out the whole situation a little bit, I have the way Colorado went in there. Okay, TCU is not the same TCU. Still covered by a wide margin. Went in and dominated in that whole situation. Come back against the Huskers in the next game. Yeah, it was close. Then they took over and blew them out. They've found the two different ways to kind of get things done so far. I'm not sure about the food for fodder with the coaching and all that, but it just seems to me like this is another spot where Colorado gets one more opportunity to make some big noise. The thump is coming. There's no doubt. I just don't think this is the time right now here for that to occur. Could be. And they could give up some on the back end and could get over that number certainly right there. But I got to roll Buffs here again. I had premium on it, documented at our site first 2 weeks. I'm doing it again.
There we go.
Yeah, guys, I am not on this game either. But I do like everything that you guys just said about Colorado. I don't think Deion takes his foot off the gas in this one. I think he wants to run it down their throat, throw it down their throat anyway. Last week, it was a pretty close game against Nebraska until about the second quarter, and that's when Colorado really started separating themselves. Might be the same thing today, too. It might be a little close early, but I do think Deion puts his foot on the gas pedal and doesn't take it off. Travis Hunter is going to go off for a game. His son Sanders is going to go off for a game. I believe he has a son that plays safety, too, on Colorado, right? Yeah, all these guys are going to be playing for him. And the thing about Deion's guys is they're playing for him. They're legit playing for him. So I definitely like Colorado to smack. I don't have a play on this game. I faded Colorado last week, and I won't ever do that again. So I'm just going to sit back and enjoy this game and watch primetime, put his foot on the gas pedal, and give it to these coaches that have been coaching for a while that just don't give him any props. It's crazy.
Yep. It's a last chance call for Colorado and the easy money before they play Oregon and USC coming up in the schedule soon. So if you've been riding the Colorado chain, you don't really got a choice if you already been riding it. But if you haven't been riding it, don't try to jump on now. It's too late. You missed it. But let's keep it rolling. Next up, Fresno State, Arizona State. Fresno State's a -3. I think it's up to 3.5 now. The over and the under is 50 in Tempe Stadium at 100-degree, typical Arizona State heat. But guess what? Fresno State, it might be hotter, so the heat shouldn't play a big factor. Let's start with my man Weinstein on this one because he told me bring him to the stage for the goods on this one. Let him know what's going on, Weinstein.
Yeah, guys, this is one of my bigger plays of the day. It's my only 2-unit play. I did take a shot on Fresno State a couple days ago, -3. It's kind of been sitting at the -3. If it did go up to 3.5, I like it more. Just because I see only 50% of the tickets too are on Fresno State. Listen, Fresno State looked really good in that opener against Purdue. I think Purdue's a lot better of a team they've been giving credit for so far. And Mikey Keene has really locked down this offense at the quarterback position. They always have good quarterbacks. Ever since they had the Carr brothers, they had Jay Kaner the last couple of years. Love watching Jay Kaner play. I backed him a lot last year. Made me a lot of money. I expect Fresno State to beat these guys by at least 10 points. This Arizona State offense looks probably the worst in the Pac-12. I watched the entire Oklahoma State ASU game last week. ASU's D-line was getting to the quarterback all game long, giving them their quarterback in good field position all game long. And the freshman, I believe his name is, Jaden Rashad?
Yes.
He's just not been getting it done. And he looks like a deer in the headlights out there, honestly. Only being a freshman, he's a big kid at 6'5". Definitely has all the potential in the world, but I just think it's too early for him. And Dillingham's first year at ASU, I just think he's trying to get, I think he's trying to get his feet wet. They're not expected to win a lot of games this year. I was on ASU last week, man, and fully regretted that decision against Oklahoma State just from how bad they looked. And the way Fresno State looked against Purdue's defense, I think Fresno State wins this game by at least 10 points. They blow them out by margin. Take the -3. If it's 3.5, I'd still take the 3.5. I endorse it. It's not a super public play either. All week it was really like 30% of tickets, 35% of money. It's now about 50% of tickets, 55% of money. So a few more people are back in Fresno State here today, but I see no reason why they blow these guys out by more than 10 points.
We're gonna bring it back.
Yeah, I'm on it too, guys. I'll go another direction. I'll chip in here maybe with wine time and see what you guys think. But I'm on Fresno certainly in this one. Before that wonderful diatribe about the advantages of the Bulldogs here in this one, ASU can't run. They can stop the run. They're doing things the right way. Big Boss, ASU got screwed, man. I mean, they're going to be back in with San Diego State here soon. They're a co-favorite for the Pac-2 championship, though, from what I understand. Anyways, I digress on that, man. For the Devils here, they'll be able to do some with their defense, maybe to keep it a low. I'll end up going under here since Wine Time gave out that play, but I like Fresno State. I'll go under here. Arizona State does have a pretty good defense. That's how they're building it. They're doing it the right way. I expect to see that's how they'll progress moving forward. So I'll expect an under here in this one. Look, was as high as 53.5. The move definitely looks like it's on the under. I saw that steam on the under. I'll go under as my play with certainly a big nod to the Bulldogs of what Wine Time said. I like Fresno State.
I agree with that under as well, Ramon. I wrote it down this morning, actually, as I was looking down at all the numbers. The public is hammering this over, and it's gone down. Might be on this under as well, honestly. I see it at 49 right now. I don't know if I'm too late, honestly. I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. I might, though.
Yeah, there's been some offensive production, a little bit ragu from these teams, but I think in this matchup it feels that way.
Yeah, just a quick snippet from me. Mikey Keene, he was recruited originally by Gus Malzahn. He brought him in the UCF to play over there, and then he went out west. And then at that time, Keene was a freshman, and he replaced the quarterback that I thought was going to start for UCF. Was a kid that he had brought in from Kentucky at the time, which was a junior. So, anyways, he had the potential of showing. Keene takes care of the football. I can see like a 28-21 type of game. Stays under. They still win by margin, and that's the look I got too on this spot.
Okie dokie. So Mountain West, where I do it the best. I got a couple angles on this. One angle is this is probably the last chance for the Mountain West team to get their yearly win in versus a Pac-12 team. Fresno State is the team to do it. Arizona State is the duck in the headlights or deer in the headlights that they could do it against. And the number is not bad at 3. If it's at 3.5, I buy it down to 3 just for sakes. But I also like another look, which is the coaching look in this one. So you got old school Tedford over here going up against 33-year-old Dillingham. So, I don't know how that's going to – I'm going to go with the old guy. I'm sorry. And it ain't because I'm an old guy. It's because it's in his works. And Dillingham still has a lot to prove out there if you look at the coaching angle. The other angle that I have leads me to the over, and it's going to be over 500 passing yards. Fresno State's averaging about 302, and Arizona State is averaging about 200. If they plan from behind, they're going to have to pass. So that's going to be touching up on the under. Is it another game that I want to be sitting around waiting for Fresno State to score 30 points or more to get the total? Absolutely. Tedford likes to score. They're not going to have a problem doing that. As a matter of fact, their problem is usually on defense. He usually doesn't have a defense sound enough to get him over the hump. So I like the over in this one. First, that was my first cap. And then as I looked into it further and hear what you guys say and all that, I'm way more confident on the Fresno State side as well. So that's a late game. I'll probably be taking both of those, ladies and gentlemen. So put me down for Fresno State minus 3.5, and the over in that one, I got it at 50.5. Jumping to this last game right here, Kansas and Nevada. Another touch up with the Mountain West. This one for me is more of just a fade of Nevada. Just two teams totally going in two different directions. Kansas on one hand was doubted. They came out. They got a great quarterback over there in Daniels. They came out great last year. He went down. They went down. He came back. They struggled. Now he's back here and he's doing a good job. They're 2-0 right here. This is make it happen day. At this high number, 28 is because they couldn't put it no higher. You got to remember, it's always the book job to bring in money on both sides. So that's why we get a 28 today. But these dudes could clearly beat these guys by 40 if they wanted to. Nevada is one of the worst college football organizations out there right now. The school doesn't want to put up the money to keep the football team on the field. That's why Jay Norvell left over there. He leaves it over to Ken Wilson. Ken Wilson has been having a lackluster at building this squad as well because he don't have the things that he need to have. So I'm expecting to fade Nevada all year. And this one I get to fade them with a high-powered offense in Kansas. So give me Kansas minus the 28. Go ahead, Big Ragu.
Yeah. What can you say about the Nevada team? They got beat down at home by Idaho, 33-6. And they did put a few more points up against USC in week 1. They scored 14. When they gave up 66. So yeah, the team's in peril right now. You get a pretty decent offensive-minded Kansas team. Are they 4 touchdowns better in this spot? The way things look on paper, I would say yes, but sometimes things don't play out on paper like they're supposed to. And then I can't back Nevada in this spot here. I was trying to find a way, maybe to look at a team total with Kansas possibly, but that's sitting at like 43 and a half. So, they're going to have to score. They're going to have to score basically 7 touchdowns here, 6 touchdowns in the field goal to put it on. We're taking them on the road. Can they do it? Yeah, but it's going to be a pass for me, even though I want to find a way to back Kansas somehow. I think the numbers are too strong for me to get behind Kansas, and I don't want no part of Nevada either.
Go ahead, Ramon.
Yeah, I guess I could go first half and maybe full game, and maybe I'd go 50-50 on that because I think Kansas gets that lead early. There's just nothing going right now. And this coach for Kansas also is tremendous at laying more than a touchdown. 12-3 ATS last 15 times, laying more than 17 points for Leopold. So I look for them to get up early and keep it there. The only thing was I feel like Nevada may be limited in scoring as well, and I was leaning under, and that may hurt actually staying in there at 28 points. So maybe that's why I'm more interested in maybe getting at least some of that bet on in the first half and laying in the first half. And maybe I'll go 50-50 there and snow still, because I have Kansas, 5 touchdowns better than Nevada right now. It's just a matter of how much. And I don't know, maybe Daniels has a little bit of catch up to do if he wants to be included in any kind of conversation with best players in the country. I won't go as far as to say Heisman or anything like that, but with a missed game in there, here's a chance to rack up some numbers.
Yes, sir. Just want to give a shout out to the chat real quick. North Ender, Nate Dog 420, Kongs Clips, Tease, Justin McLevy, my guy, the Gas Report, Dommy Gunn, our guy.
Big names.
Yeah, big names. Joey Harb, dude. Good to see everyone. Thanks for fucking joining us today. It's a beautiful day for football. And this one, I don't have a play on this one, but you know what, Ramon? He's got a point there with this under, honestly. I don't see Nevada scoring many points in this one. I see this game, honestly, as like a 42-7 type game, Kansas, which would favor them on the -28. I'm not going to do it. I'm taking Iowa already -28 today. I think that's enough for the big spreads for me today. But I'm thinking about taking this under now because I don't see Nevada scoring more than 7 to 10 points in this one. They scored 6 against Idaho, 2 touchdowns against USC, and one of them was in the first 4 minutes of the game. They didn't score again until about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. There's no Nevada offense in this one. I would lean the under.
There it is. So before we get ready to get out of here, because that's the last on our card today, we're going to start with you and come back over to me, and I'll close it out. Any other best bets or anything you want to add to the card for the show of the day, go ahead and let them have it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I've actually got a pretty loaded card today, guys. I'm not going to go too into detail on them. I'm going to give you guys a couple plays, though, that I really like. I already gave out the Fresno State -3. I endorsed that big time in this one. I've been looking at that all week. I just think I think Fresno State should be more of a -6 in this one. Line's way off. I'm going to take advantage of it. Another game I really like, I like Iowa -28. I expect them to put their foot on the gas pedal and blow these guys out of the water, too. I'm on Northwestern +17.5. The line's kind of been moving down. I wish I would have gone in on the 18 earlier in the week. I did get the 17.5, and it is down to 17 now. I like this quarterback from Duke. I like what they're doing over there. I do expect them to win. Not going to lie, I did take a little sprinkle on the Northwestern money line, but I don't expect it to hit. But, I mean, you really never know. But I expect Northwestern to stay within 17 points in this game, if not be maybe even one possession away from winning this game. So I really like Northwestern plus the 17.5. It's at +17 now. Still endorse it. I'm also going to give you guys South Alabama plus the 7.5. I like the South Alabama team, honestly, for their conference. They're one of the top teams in their conference. That quarterback's a transfer from Alabama. He backed up Mac Jones, Tua. He's an older guy. I believe he's a fifth-year guy. I saw him play at UCLA last year, and he almost beat us at the Rose Bowl. Really good game to watch, honestly. So, yeah, I lean towards South Alabama plus the 7.5. It is down to +7 now. I still endorse it, though. I could see them winning this game outright. They lost to, I believe, Tulane in week 1, and that's when Tulane had their quarterback. And that quarterback is, I mean, he beat USC. He's good. I like that Tulane team. And, you know, they weren't close with them, but I don't know. I think Tulane's a really good team, and South Alabama, I expect them to stay within 7 in this one.
Nice. How about you, Ramon? Anything you want to let the people know before you go?
Yeah, appreciate it. If you have time, if you want to look at some plays throughout the day, I'm on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. I probably have about 40 free play videos up there for this week's games. So if you're interested, I do have some premium picks at the tonyspicks.com website. I will say it's one of those fully documented sites, so I will tout that a little bit. I'm a tout. I'll admit it, but 4-0 last night, including Rhode Island last night off the big board. Went to the smaller schools yesterday, and also I'm off to a 10-3 start in NFL. But maybe I could send it your way, Ragu, and ask you guys about my biggest interest today is the debut of Tyler Buckner for Alabama. I'm originally from San Diego. I'm in Las Vegas right now, kind of relocated here for the gambling, sports gambling scene. But Tyler Buckner is a guy I've followed, certainly from San Diego. I think he's almost overachieved in his career, even to have the success that he has. I'm really bummed when he got injured. I don't think that he can live up to any expectations as these other Alabama quarterbacks, but someone's got to come in there and do the job. Buckner, obviously, Big Boss knows with Notre Dame was okay. You know, he maybe played up to his expectations and didn't exceed them. Don't kill me on this now, but I'm a fan of his. I do think it's a big downgrade. I hope he can win this job and keep the job just because I'm a fan of his. And by the way, his offensive coordinator now is with Alabama Birmingham as a offensive analyst. So these guys have had success together. And he's working under Dilfer right now. So he might just be too slight of build to execute like an Alabama quarterback needs, but he does have it between his ears, but just might lack the tools a little bit for what you need in that big SEC game against those opponents now.
Yeah.
I just said that.
Right? Hopefully he gets the job done. I got a couple little looks here. I'm on. I like this one. I think they hit this one a little too hard in my book. We're talking about the Arkansas BYU game. I think we're looking like a big point, like 9-point total drop there, sitting like at 47.5. I think that's too low for that game. I think I like the over there in the BYU Arkansas game, and then I like an over in the App State East Carolina game. I think I got about a touchdown better than what they got now. It's sitting at 47.5, another 47.5, but I'm going to go over on that one. And then as far as the side go, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate on this one, but I don't care. Washington's going to play Michigan State. I grade that game out a little bit in Michigan State's favor. I think the home team's catching too many points. I think there's too much love for Washington. Even though they're a juggernaut, 17 points, we know he's coming back for the Big Ten, Michael Penix, right? I think they play up in that game, a little motivation. They know this kid well, and I think the coach here is going to come up with a scheme to kind of not take all the offense out of the air there against that squad, but I think there'll be points involved. But I think better than 2 touchdowns is too many for Michigan State at home here. So I like Michigan State catching the points at home.
Just sucks that these guys are going through this stuff again at Michigan State, Big Boss. I think maybe they have a little bit of emotion too, even with the coaching situation. I mean, it just sucks what's going on there, and maybe they can suck it up. But the Pac-12, Big Boss, and no wonder all these conferences want these teams.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, it always comes together when it's the last ticker going down. So I love to see it happen this year, though, because it was a long time coming for the Pac-12. But I don't have any extra plays today. As far as your guy Buckner over there at Alabama, though, Buckner just don't like to get hit, man. That's his problem. He's in the SEC where he can take some big hits now. So I fear for that guy's health. If he can stay healthy and he gets better targets and better blocking, he could be a really good dynamic quarterback. But if he gets hit, we'll have to see what happens after that. But nothing else for me, man. Just keep tuning in to Who-Bangin. Hit the likes. I thank you guys for showing up today and sharing the plays with our chat. I thank everybody in the chat for showing up and just having a good old low-bagging time in the chat right here with all the picks and plays and the great gestures each other passing back and forth. I love to see that. That's where we all started from. That's how we got here. But that's it, man. Just keep tuning in with us. Each weekend we'll be back. We'll be hopping on shows on La Life Sweat on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We got fantasy show on Wednesday with my man Damon. We got the Fight Lounge going on with Dylan. We got Wham doing the NFL on Sundays and on Thursdays Live Sweat as well. So just a lot of stuff to get involved with. Raymond, Wine Time, you guys know you guys are always welcome around here. And I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, man. Y'all have a great weekend. Drive safe and gamble responsibly. Peace.